Talaba when it comes to the captain role. There's the blind bands taking place. Tundra Fade coming out from TteS Sports as we have Parasite Wild Soul going to be happening here from Absolute Legends. So once again, nothing too crazy here when it comes to the blind bands. Although, actually, no Monkey King band. Uh-oh. Things could get interesting.
Yeah, definitely. With the no Monkey King band, it is blind band frequently against Cookies from time to time. And, well, we saw it yesterday, actually. I think it was blind band both times when we were casting them against Stay Green. And he was not able to utilize that in the lineup. But that's not to say that, like, oh, my God, they didn't blind band Monkey King. Got to pick it, it. It's just one of those heroes that, sometimes they like to fit in the lineup, sometimes they don't. And it is strong, but it is sometimes difficult to fit him perfectly in the lineup because normally you do want to solo him mid, I feel. You can dual lane him mid as well, but it seems kind of chaotic. I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. Look at that lockpick pool. Jeez, that's so strong, so much power, and it's so the same.
And it's so what we expect.
Yeah, Tempest, Keeper, and Ophelia starting it off here early on.
Yeah, it's that it really is ridiculous. You got to figure here, something like that Glacius may eventually make it in, as we usually always see when an Ophelia is in that lock pool. So we'll see how Italba falls. I'm not going to go that just yet, though. Master of Arms Warby is going to be the fall. Warby's not too crazy, but Master of Arms going a little bit different there. He's kind of he's really what feels like he's one of these niche heroes. Like every now and then, for whatever reason, we'll just randomly see him, it seems like, in these matches. And there's the Monkey King lock coming out from Cookies. So now what I was going to bring up about this is that, sure, Cookies obviously a fan. You can argue even the best Monkey King player out there. And a lot of teams respect blind banning against him. But I don't wonder if Talaba here, if is Moravis, I want to say Moravis is actually a pretty good Monkey King player himself. And whether it's Moravis or even somebody else, maybe that's what they were kind of going for, wanting to maybe go for themselves, but then they would be passing up, obviously, a lot of strong options. So it is going to be interesting, though, to see how Monkey King works his way into this game, if he even does. Obviously, it's not even necessary at this point, so. But we'll see. Flint Beastwood, yeah. You see Meisty right there talking about how their plan was foiled. Flint Beastwood, first banned by Talaba. What of that?
I don't know if that's really a respect ban, more of just I'm having fun with you and I want to screw you over and I don't want you to have fun. So, I mean, obviously Flint Beastwood's not picked up that often, but it has been run by Cookies from time to time, and they've actually had somewhat, good success with him. And, so they just don't want them to have fun. Simple as that.
That's rude.
I know.
How dare they? They're playing this game to win, you mean? Not have fun? That's ridiculous.
Terrible people.
It is kind of silly there, but at the same time, hey, that Cookies has been, as you said, this is the one team really on the competitive scene. I think it's safe to say that. Maybe would run at Flint Beastwood, at least right now, and they have proven to do it actually fairly well. He definitely can be a very solid late game carry. So, Talaba just doesn't want to have to deal with it. Pebbles, Pharaoh, Draconis, and Aluna are the following bands. Cookie is going to come up with his last band here. And then, of course, we'll enter the regular picking stage. So, other than the Flint Beastwood, it gets pretty normalized here when it comes to the bans. And it's Plague Rudder, again, continuing that trend, going to be the final ban, actually. So we'll see what Talaba values here as far as the first pick. Going to be coming up here very shortly. And, well, there you go. Didn't even really put too much thought into it. Snap pick Glacius there.
Yeah, I think actually that seems quite obvious. I mean, well, actually, now that I think about it, Engineer's still unbanned. And I know Mokies plays a great Engineer. And we talked about the thing that's interesting about this AL team is that they don't really have defined roles on their team. Yeah. We'll see King Plato play Silhouette one game. We'll see him play hard support the next. We'll see Mokies play hard support one game or jungle the next. And then the game after that, he'll play Chronos or Dark Lady. And, I mean, it doesn't seem to hinder them that much. But I really do feel that teams that have, strict roles makes it not only easier to, like, the players, but specifically the drafter. That way, when he's drafting, it's not like, who's playing this? Like, I want to draft this team, but I don't know who's going to be playing what role. And it kind of screws with you a little bit and kind of plays with your mind. So if you have a set role of, like, I'm picking jungler, like, yo, Meisty. All right, you don't even think about it. It's just like he's playing it, and that's a done deal. And you don't have to worry about, like, player to role assignments. So that's one thing I hope that they continue to work with.
Yeah, and whenever we brought that up, I just simply go back and I think it's the strongest point is that you just look at the most successful teams in HoN's history. Right now, you got TDM and Complexity; they have defined roles. Before that, of course, Fnatic, MSI, and their reign, they absolutely had defined roles. And we even way before that, We Are Pigs, I like to bring up. I mean, it really has just been a trend all throughout the very, very successful teams throughout HoN's competitive history. So, Bombardier is going to be the first pick though coming out. This Absolute Legends team, they honestly just never disappoint when it comes to just not only being entertaining, but providing us at least with one solid different pick. And of course, Bombardier definitely that. Not that he's like the most radical crazy pick ever by any means, but it is different. We don't really see him at all on the competitive scene nowadays. So now again, as I the few times he is brought up, he does have a very strong laning presence. It seems like.
Well,
and the global ultimate's pretty nice. So
he's a strong laning presence, but when he's solo mid, I mean, with the metagame where we see so many strong dual lane mids, I just feel like he gets shut down very easily. Now, if he's going to like a solo short lane, and they're going to go like something like a Suicide Bubbles, and maybe they're thinking is pick up a support here to maybe go with Monkey King mid, and go like Monkey King plus Engineer, or Monkey King plus, I don't know, Nymphora would be great as well, and then they can pick up one of those junglers. That could be their thinking as well, because Bomb, like I said, mid, against dual lanes, which is almost inevitable, you're just going to get crushed, I think.
yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see how they lane this. And that was their biggest problem, I feel like, yesterday, was not necessarily their picks and why they were different and kind of strange, but still okay, in my opinion. I think the biggest issue for them was, the way that they laned it.
Yeah, that is very, very true. And it is going to be interesting to see, how Bombardier fares here. With that said, going into this game now, Moraxis, Wretched Hag are going to be the final two picks coming out for TteS Sports. Again, Hag really just exploding onto just a go-to pick now on the competitive scene, it seems like. And not only that, but again, the role that she plays is more of the carry-style role, it seems like. Nymphora is going to be the final pick coming out from Absolute Legends at the same time. The biggest thing that stands to me so far, especially about the Hellborn team, is that's a very squishy team over there when it comes to Absolute Legends. So it's going to be interesting to see how this lock pick now goes here for both of these teams, as White Talibah going to take a little bit of time here to decide what he wants out of this lock. But I mean, what would you like to see, Trout? Well, keep the forest.
I was going to say definitely keep for the forest.
Yeah.
They don't really have to worry about them picking up Ophelia. And right now they have a very, very strong Suicide if they want. Or they have a very strong jungler if they don't get like another jungler. But they're going to get another jungler because of the way that lockpick works. And how many junglers in the pool. There we go. Monkey King and actually War Beast. That's probably their best decision, I think.
Yeah.
They could have actually, though, done. They could have still done Ophelia. It is a little bit more difficult against Glacius, but that's not to say it can't be done. But I definitely see here. Yeah, you have two very different good options here for TteS Sports. Tempest, we've seen Tempest plus Keeper, then you throw a Wretched Hag on top of that. It's just wombo combo all over. But then you also have an amazing push with Ophelia. They do go with Tempest.
Yeah.
And I think either would have been just fine, personally.
Of course, yeah. You can't go wrong with a Tempest or an Ophelia pick as your final pick. I think it's safe to say. So, Tempest is the final pick in the end. It's going to be swapped to White Talibah, and we'll see more than likely him ending up playing that, unless he keeps swapping things around. But yeah, now again, TteS Sports. Yeah, look at that team. They got amazing team fight presence. They got solid late game potential, especially with that Wretched Hag we've seen lately. Their lanes definitely make sense. I'm loving TteS Sports lineup in that. When it comes down to that, when it just comes down to just being very solid here. So White Talibah definitely doing a good job of drafting there. Absolute Legends, on the other hand, again, I love this team because damn, is it going to bring entertainment? I mean, you got Monkey King Nymphora, of course. That's what I think. I mean, do you think it could be Nymphora Bombardier, or is it probably just
I think it's going to be Monkey King Nymphora mid, okay. Bombardier solo short, GG Slaya playing that Bubbles as a Suicide, and then Meisty in the jungle on War Beast. And I got to say, I love War Beast as a hero, and I think that probably was the best pick. Well, they could have also gone any of the other two junglers, but I just think War Beast should be utilized a lot more. Now, I mean, there's lots of great junglers, don't get me wrong, but I really feel like he is so damn strong. And if he's played not passively, if he's played actively, especially right when he has at level 6, he can dish out and basically get a free kill with any kind of stun or snare in any lane. He really can because of that max movement speed and the massive damage he provides at a very low level with absolutely no items.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun to see how, well, not only, of course, how they land. It seems like it might be pretty obvious, but as far as how it progresses. And so you made the point that you usually like to see the Monkey King solo, but it is going to be the Monkey King Nymphora here, of course, coming out from Absolute Legends. And once again, King Plato, he's the one playing the hard support. It seems like he might have just switch to that role altogether. Because yesterday, I mean, that's actually what he played all 3 games against Day Green, I believe. So, but anyways, so yeah, Nymphora Monkey King middle against what I assume to be that Glacius Moraxis middle. Now, when it comes down to that, Glacius Moraxis versus Monkey King Nymphora, how do you see that one breaking down, Trev?
I think Glacius Moraxis is ridiculously strong. I really do. I think it's a very strong lane. We've seen we've seen dual lane mids with Moraxis all the time. And normally we actually see Moraxis and a Luna, but I actually think Moraxis and Glacius is even stronger because Glacius' spells do more damage, opposed to a Luna. Like, she has her power throw, which is great, but that's 1 spell. Glacius has 2 to work with. And you can initiate from further away with that slow. So you can set something up quite nicely for Moraxis. So I have to give the edge to Glacius Moraxis here.
Yeah. All right. We'll see who's on Moraxis? Moravis. We'll see if Moravis is able to come through over. Again, that cookies on Monkey King, though. You cannot disregard that. It is cookies. Oh, Monkey King, man. The guy just does some crazy things with that hero. Bombardier, I love this. Is a pretty fun skin. This is a Zeppelin skin, I believe. So he's just kind of riding along here. But yeah, Bombardier, he brings that global presence as well with that ultimate. It is a very powerful tool, of course, and could pretty much guarantee a kill anywhere on the map. You know, pending you get some assistance from somebody going in for ganks, say this Monkey King or say it Bubbles or something like that. You throw out the what's called the airstrike here from Bombardier, and a lot of assisted damage, and again could eventually set up the guaranteed kill. So
yeah.
Something to keep in mind if you're TD Esports. And it just seems like the global presence in general, that on top of course, having Nymphora, will be very powerful here for Absolute Legends.
I just feel like, I mean, Bomb is cool and all, but I feel like it doesn't have a real place in this lineup. Like, there's no real setup stun. There's an Nymphora kind of Zeal stun, but that's not guaranteed. There's a Bubbles Kelfield to keep him in place, but that's still not, like, you can still juke a Bombardier ultimate through that. It's not anything like a Tempest plus Bomb, or like an Electrician plus Bomb, or even a Magnus plus Bomb, or any kind of, like, you know, for sure point stun that's going to last more than 1 second. So, or 1.5 seconds, what have you. So I just feel like his ultimates are going to be kind of hard to hit, to be honest. And what are the people, like, who's he going to hit in these ultimates? Like, Moraxis is going to be too tanky. Hag can blink away. Keeper can invis, and he's going to be too tanky. It's basically Glacius and maybe Tempest. But Tempest is going to have a portal key pretty soon, and he's not exactly the squishiest of heroes either.
That's a great point to bring up. Yeah, usually when you do see a Bombardier, you do have something like that Tempest or Keeper of the Forest or something like that. But sure enough, those heroes alone are on the other team, and you know that could definitely be a problem there. And then, let alone, you also have a Monkey King, as great as the hero is and as fun as it is to watch, he's also flying around with people, and that too can obviously cause issues for your airstrike attempts from Bombardier. But it looks like both teams are officially ready now, so going to come out of the break here. And we'll be good to go into what is now the laning phase, of course. Here in game number 1, we have a losers bracket matchup coming at you. Absolute Legends taking on TteS Esports. The loser of this match, they will finish, I want to say, 9th through 12th overall. And the winner of this matchup will at least guarantee a top 8 finish, if not higher, of course. And they could eventually win it all if everything works out. So, staying alive in the tournament here in cycle number 2 for the Diamond Division. That is what matters. More money, but as I always say, more importantly, I really do think are those points, because those add up going, of course, into the end of the season, as we talked about earlier. Bubbles is attempting to place Ward aside here, but you see Moravis with his positioning right in front of the Ward aside spot that Bubbles was going for. And as a result, GG Slayer will have to kind of fall back and go a different route if he eventually wants to get that down. So good protection here coming out from Moravis, and it actually looks like they could be sending Hag mid here with Moraxis bottom. What would you make of that?
I think maybe they're thinking is they don't want to have Hag go up against Bubbles. Maybe they feel like that's just not a favorable matchup for Wretched Hag, and I do think Bubbles kind of wins, but it is in Hag's short lane, so it shouldn't really be a lane that you're dodging specifically. Also, with the suicide coming down there and getting that ward off, and he did get it off, and GG just placed that. They're not going to have the poles to work with, so this dual lane bottom, yeah, I don't know how successful it's going to be honest. But Wretched Hag, she's not really going to get all that much in mid if played correctly against this very volatile lane. Like I said, Monkey King and Nymphora. One of the great things about Monkey King in mid specifically is because you have such like long range with your spells. You can initiate from almost like 800 range away, if not longer, with the double dash, the double vault. So you can definitely catch up to Wretched Hag, and her blink at low levels is not the longest range in the world.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the biggest concern for me here with TD Esports is when we were talking about this, what we thought was going to be a 2 versus 2 matchup here mid with Moraxis Glacius versus the Monkey King and 4 is that you even gave the slight advantage to Glacius Moraxis in this middle lane. So now as a result of this, sure, Moraxis will absolutely get free farm, but you're also, giving a much better, more guaranteed time to cookies here on Monkey King at the same time. And is that necessarily the smartest move? Because again, that goes back to specifically cookies playing Monkey King. If he gets a snowballing start, he really can get crazy and take over the game for his team. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out here. For both of these teams now as a result of this choice, but you do see Bubbles at the bottom lane taking a lot of harassment from Leon Black, but at the same time, Leon Black also needs to be careful as he's taking a lot of return damage and dropping to about half life right there. We've seen those embarrassing moments where you're so tunnel vision thinking that you're going to be fine as a support harassing the suicide, and all of a sudden they turn on you, especially with the Bubbles where he shell surfs and whatnot, and then you die and you're like, well, that shouldn't have happened. So yeah, I need to be careful there, but at the same time, keep the harassment up. So.
And speaking of harass, there's a lot of harassment on the Hag mid, but actually Enzo is not doing, well, he's not doing terribly, at least at the early stages of this game right now in this lane. Actually, Bubble's taking a lot of harass right now. I thought he was going to be in a little bit of trouble, but he'll be fine for now. And then top lane, of course, Keeper of the Forest versus that short lane Bombardier as expected. And it's actually quite even right now. I'm surprised, to be honest, that Bomb has the CS that he has. He actually has a very, very early ring of the teacher that's going to be good for him, but when you're up against a Keeper of the Forest that has that shield hatchet, like I said, he's got the good regen from his Nature's Veil. He's actually used all of his basic regen, and he's just kind of sitting on that Nature's Veil for now until he gets some other items. But yeah, I'm actually surprised how well Mookies is doing up here.
Well, like I was saying, it really does seem like Bombardier, especially in the 1 versus 1 aspect, which is what he's getting here, even though it's Keep with the Force. I mean, he does bring a lot of great harassment potential. The Boom Dust and the Sticky Bomb are excellent spammable ability, especially that Boom Dust. I mean, he puts it on, it's what, only 20 mana or something like that. 25 mana, that's barely anything, especially for an intelligence hero. And he can use that quite frequently to constantly keep pressure on Keep with the Force. So as you said, he's out of natural regen. Now he's, or I guess the eating regen, now he's just working on his Nature's Veil regen, but he has taken a good amount of harassment. So Bombardier, Mookie's definitely doing a pretty solid job there. It is a very even, back and forth, though, with all that said, when it comes to the creep farm. So
yeah, and I'm curious to see like what kind of build he goes for as far as items, because normally keepers don't really have that much problem with harass here in these lanes. So, and you see them just rush a Ring of Sorcery or something like that, but considering how much harass he has been dealt, it might be smart for him to go for some other like consumables before that Ring of Sorcery to just make it able for him to stay in the lane. And actually goes for a Ring of the Teacher, and I look probably for some regen as well. Yeah, double check that courier. Yeah, he does have. Actually, Pickled Brain up on white, by the way.
Oh, Glacius, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Glacius is going to fall right here, and Bloodlust kill coming out for GG Slayer. Exactly what I was talking about. You do not want to get overzealous as a support. It seemed like you did. Now, Bubble's doing a little bit of trouble. You see the cancel auto catch there. Oh, he got him to take cover, but he's going to be fine. Actually, at that moment, Moravis turned around after he did a pretty good job of storm canceling. But Glacius, he's going for the tunnel vision harassment, and in the end, he ended up taking a creep wave as a result of that, and Bubbles took complete advantage. So, Bloodlust kill coming out for GG Sucker down there. GG Slayer, excuse me.
Yeah. Now, Moravis was trying to do some animation canceling right there to try to get Bubbles to waste that take cover, but ultimately, he didn't even cast his Quake Stun. But I feel like in that situation, you just got to try. Like, you have to try. You got to throw it out there. If he dodges it, whatever. If he doesn't, then you get a kill. So I think Moravis could have done a little bit better job right there. Yeah. But at the same time, yeah, you can't get caught out like that as a support against a Bubbles. And we've seen so many times where Bubbles actually can get kills on supports because they don't realize the burst potential that Bubbles has. And he can play lanes quite easily because it's like, I can damage you, and I can also get away at any time I want to. Yeah. Wretched Hag picks up a region up top. It was going to be trying to rune controlled there by both Kingblade to play in that Nymph4 and that Warbeast, but they're just not able to get it in time, unfortunately. And that would have been a great rune for Micey to have on Warbeast, as he's kind of running a little bit low on mana.
Oh, and actually Nymph4, a lot of pressure, but Wretched Hag going to dodge the stun right there, but here comes a hastened Monkey King, and that is very dangerous. The blink away, though, from Wretched Hag. Tempest is also nearby, and actually Monkey King will have to retreat from going for that kill. But yeah, you said they were both trying to protect that the rune up there at the top lane, but Wretched Hag actually just blinked at a perfect time, and she was unspotted blinking there. and then she eventually picked it up, and that kind of caught them off guard. So it was just a pretty solid play there coming out from Enzo, playing that Wretched Hag, but yeah, again, you do see the haste in Monkey King, how dangerous that can be, but a good blink away from Wretched Hag, and she was fine. Uh-oh, King Plato actually timing out right here. He was playing that Nymphora there. It's going to be a vote to pause, of course, coming out from AL, and you do see Nymphora's all the way back at base. Now, granted, her life was fairly low.
It was very timely.
Yeah, so it's actually not the worst thing possible. She does have regen, but hey, now she could just use that regen from Monkey King, if anything.
Yep.
Or maybe later on, but hopefully nothing too serious, and he'll be coming back here shortly here, but...
Yep, there he is. Yeah, Warbeast versus Tempest right now, it's pretty much neck and neck as far as their jungles. So they're both having a pretty good time in the jungle, and that's good for them. Top lane, again, is 23-3 Keep of the Forest versus a 28-6 Bomb. So Bomb slightly winning that. And then I think the biggest factor here is the fact that Hag actually has some decent CS. You have to compare basically Hag to, in this case, Bubbles. And Bubbles, even though he got that kill on Leon Black, and that's great for him, he's not really getting any experience. Like, they have a very aggressive ward, actually placed not too long ago from Leon Black, to show sight of that lane and of that tower and any kind of response coming out. And so he's not able to get anything. He's getting zoned out completely. So like I said, even despite the fact that he got first blood, and that's great for him, he's still not able to get very much experience in like hardly any CS. He only has 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at the XPM chart, he's basically identical with the Glacius right now, 75 to 74, so yeah, but then after that he really steps up, especially the Hag, when you compare it to the Hag, as you were kind of saying, 300 experience per minute for Hag compared to the 75 for Bubbles, so yeah, and of course the gold is even, gold is actually a little more even, but you mentioned, you know, only the 2 creep kills. Wretched Hag with a 13 at the same time. So, yeah, it's definitely going a little bit better for our Legion team in TT Esports in that sense. Now, Cookie's on Monkey King. He is off to a solid start as expected, 28-10 creep farm. At the same time, it's not necessarily taking off in farm either. I mean, he's just doing very solid. You know, you compare him to others, you're more Axis, you're bombing your teammate even, and they're all around the same. So he's farming about 290 gold per minute right now, as he does have his boots and bottle, of course. Here early on. Bubbles at the bottom lane in a little bit of trouble. Tempest coming in now. We ran right past the Water Revelation here. So GG Slayer is definitely very aware, but great positioning from Tempest. He has an ultimate if necessary. Will he use it right here for the guarantee kill? Yes, he will. He pulls him in with the ultimate. In comes more Axis. And there's the kill for Whitalaba actually on Tempest. And yeah, I don't think there was any problem right there with Tempest deciding to use his ultimate.
Nope, absolutely not. Anytime you can get a kill like that this early on, it's always acceptable and always perfectly fine. So they got that kill. Actually, GG Sucko did realize that there was a ward there and countered it. That's good for him. But we could see a very, very fast push here coming out from this trio down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, as a result of what just happened right there, I mean, of course, you got a level 2 Bubbles here, but again, it's a level 2 Bubbles. Not much he's going to be able to do by himself. He'll probably shell surf here in the near future to maybe clean up the creep wave a little bit, but not much else he's going to be able to do. So unless we see some TPs here very shortly, this should be a pretty easy tower kill coming out for TT Esports, and I don't think we are. In fact, Bubbles needs to be careful, actually. He's going to take some stuns, so the Nax right there. But in the end, he is going to retreat, or no, he's actually living life on the edge. GG Slayer going for the deny. That was very close. He actually got a great attempt right there. But Leon Black ends up getting the tower kill for his team. And TT Esports will get a nice little hefty amount of gold for that as a result.
I really, really think that Bubble should have bought boots after that first blood. I really do. He did go for the Ring of the Teacher, but it's not really assisting him or helping him in any regard. Like, gives him more damage, but for what? He's getting zoned out already. I think that the faster movement speed would be a much more beneficial thing for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, he's going to have this lane to work with. Leon Black, once they pull this, though, and since the ward is no longer blocking this main camp, they're going to be able to get that lane control back again. And the Bubbles can get kind of screwed, so doing a good job here.
Now, Monkey King, again, especially when playing Cookie, he seems to play so very aggressive. Actually, just that's how the hero works. It doesn't seem like we've really seen much of that, though, in this laning phase. And I guess that's, you got to give some credit to Enzo there. He's not really putting himself in a horrible position. I mean, granted, it is a Hag, and obviously she does have the blink in the end. But Monkey King does have he actually has a double damage when bottled up right here. And he also just finished his Ghost Marcher. So this is where he can start becoming a lot more active if he wants to be, if he finds the situation more so. But for now, he is going to stay in the middle lane with a double damage rune activated and kind of clean up some creep kills here. So, yeah, I do find that kind of interesting, though, because, again, it usually seems like when we see a Monkey King, he's constantly flying around in this early stage and even getting a kill or two as a result. But it doesn't seem like we've had much of that yet.
Yeah, not yet. But like you said, it is against a Hag, and it's a little bit more difficult to, net kills on him. I've been watching Enzo. He's playing very, very safe, very, very back, and making it very, very difficult for this combo to get gone on him. So not really too much, Cookies can do. But I do like to say that he is somewhat active on Monkey King. I would like to see a Homecoming Stone on him because I usually see him, like, respond to, say, a gank top or gank bottom or anything like that. And like I said, with Monkey King, you can initiate on the team fights from a very, very long range away.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Monkey King jumping in now, but he's now falling back as TteS joins the party. Nymph4 trying to get away. The Bat Blast coming out right there, the Dove Blast even. And down goes Nymph4. So good job right there on the turnaround coming out from TT Esports, completely catching them off guard. Monkey King doing his Monkey King thing, the way he jumps in. Wretched Egg blinking away, however. And the heavily vaults from Monkey King as he will fall back. Not nearly enough for a kill. Now Cupid the Forest joining the party. And talk about some good push potential. You got these replicates, the elementals, you got the tree dogs. There's going to be a good amount of damage happening on this tower. And it's dropping quickly, man. I'm guessing they haven't vaulted, but the airstrike coming out for the side. Great combination right there. TteS will fall. The sticky bomb explodes. The bombardment comes out. The Zealstone barely dodged by Riser. Excellent job right there. The boom dust going off, but it looks like Riser will very likely stay alive in the end. So good job by him staying alive. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Bubbles will fall to Meraxis, actually, as he gets caught out solo 1v1. But that was a great coordination between Bombardier and Monkey King right there, actually.
It looked pretty cool because it looked like he was trying to dodge it, and he was starting to walk away from it, and then Monkey King was like, nope, and he vaulted him backwards back into the ultimate. And that was a fun exchange. And actually, as a result, the experience is pretty much identical, but because Meravis got that kill just there onto GG Slaya, he's actually got his portal key right now if he wants it. It's a very, very early portal key for Meravis.
Wow. And in fact, there we go. Purchases a root at the bottom lane in the meantime. Warby's being locked down. Now he's going to ulti form, though. Are coming in. Meraxis with that portal key. There's that Quicksand already using it. Kawili hero block right here. Not even going to be necessary. Down goes Warby's. Meravis gets credit for the kill. So you mentioned the very early portal key, and right away he makes use of it. Very, very good timing right there. Taking out Warby's, who's obviously, as usual, been fairly quiet this game. But he was attempting some push right there, was Meisty. Unfortunately for him, though, not able to be successful with it, and in fact, he falls as a result. Yeah,
in the meantime, they did pick up Leon Black in the middle lane quite easily. I mean, he's a level 3 Glacius, well, now level 4, actually. And tower is going to be gone on, and actually Glacius, look at that range you have from Monkey King. It's ridiculous. Like I said, you can initiate on them from such a long range away, and Cookies, being the great Monkey King player that he is, he knows that.
It's got to be so frustrating playing against this hero, because again, it's not a hero that we see every game, so it's not like it's so rinse and repeat that you're like, okay, I need to stand at the secondary tower, basically. But we see right there, again, he feels like in most cases he would have been fine, but he was basically halfway between the first tower and the secondary tower, but it's Monkey King. You're not even fine there, and Cookies took full advantage and took him out. So Leon Black kind of sleeping a bit right there, but yeah, clearly you got to be very extra careful against this hero in those situations. So you see him off to the side getting some mana from his Nymph4 teammate, of course. But in the end, he's just going to go to the creep wave and continue to farm. Now, speaking of Nymph4, she's finding herself in a pretty odd spot right here. Kind of behind these 3 heroes on the Legion side. Tempest diving in. He really wants to get Monkey King. And actually, the tower's still up. It was in deny range, but they chose not to deny it. And that could pay off big time here for TT Esports. And they are going to get the tower kill. And Monkey King will just fall back. So I'm not sure about that non-decision right there. Keep it the Force in the meantime. Invis on top of a couple heroes. But no opening is going to happen, at least yet. Warbeast. No, don't go on the minions. No root, no root. Is he going to root? There we go. Meraxis jumps in right there. And here's the follow-up. There was no root anyways, but Bat Blast going to be used.
Wow.
And down he goes. Yeah, talk about burst damage, man.
And I mean, that's all 5 heroes right there. They're literally all 5 roaming together. And they're not losing that much out of it, because they got a great kill. No one else is really farming that much. You have Bubbles in the bottom lane, but he hasn't been there for that long. They're not farming mid, or Cookies is not really farming mid, so usually when you see, we actually see a TP right there, but it's canceled by Monkey King. It was almost a bait.
Yeah.
Almost a bad decision by him. The airstrike coming out, minimal damage though. And Monkey King gets baited by a TP. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. But if I was by Talib, I'd say, hell yeah, that was on purpose.
Of course it was, exactly. You know, I totally meant to do that. I don't know. I mean, he was the only one TPing, so maybe it simply was. I mean, then obviously Monkey King was like, I got to stop that port, but he jumped into 5 heroes to do so, and we saw the complete turn as a result. So I don't know. Maybe that was just next level from Vitality, or maybe it just simply worked out perfectly. But anyways, whatever it was, they got the kill, and they're very likely going to get another tower kill, as we see right there. So look at the lead all of a sudden for TT Esports. 5,100 gold lead, 3,300 experience lead. Man, momentum picking up big time here for our Legion team.
They just have a very, very finely crafted lineup. Like Tempest plus Keeper. Tempest plus Keeper. We see this all the time. And if you can manage to get it, it's so strong. It really plays itself. It really does. You press your R buttons and you win. And then you have a very, very strong initiator in Meraxis, who had a 10-minute Steam Boots portal key. Now is working towards a very, very fast Summon of the Black Legion shortly after. Wretched Hag, who is basically like a pseudo-suicide mid against 2 heroes, is is well on her way to a Hellflower now. Glacius has Steam Boots of its own, so he's going to be a little more tanky. It's just everything is working for them because of all this push and because of all this team fight that they have.
Yeah, you know, finding positives here on the Hellborn side, I mean, there are a bit of them. You still have a Monk King that's 330. By the way, is this normal for Cookies? He went Helm of the Black Legion here. That doesn't seem like that's normal to me as far as his usual build. I mean, we've only seen him so many times, but...
I see him get it from time to time, yeah.
Okay. So
I think it's definitely suitable this game because just the way that it's been panned out. You know, lots of team fight. You want to be able to sustain yourself in team fights. If Meraxis goes on you, you want to be able to live through that and then come back in a team fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, there he jumps right there. He stops the blink actually initially from Hag, but he's still chasing that ulti of his. Gives him some good speed, of course. I mean, he's running at 468. Oh, that's a Gritson imp right now, but he's running at 413 with no buffs other than his ultimate that's activated. That's a fast speed, and obviously when he activates those Ghost Marchers, even more so.
Yep.
Very powerful. In fact, speaking of N4, they're going to port up here to the top lane, I believe. Yes, they are. All 5 are up here, as is the Legion team. Actually, Red Tag is straggling, but they're coming in. Here comes the flank. The Monk King with a double damage rune. Tempest is going to get melted down right there. The airstrike coming out. Glacius should fall off to the side. He will go down. Here comes Rupert. Give it the first. The bad blast for Red Tag. Though a turnaround coming out for TteS Esports. They get the kill on a Monkey King, but Warby's still trying to shred up this Legion team, but they are pretty damn tanky. They boomed us on a Wretched Hag right there. Shell server away from Bubbles. Monkey King does buy back. He comes back in and takes out Wretched Hag, and now he wants more blood. Keeper of the Force, trying to maybe support Moraxis right here with an Invis. Nice sticky bomb landed, actually. And Moraxis will take a little bit of damage. He doesn't have his Matrix, of course, used it in that fight. And he's going to try to sneak away up here. He does have a portal key up in 3 seconds. He should be fine. Monkey King trying to find him, but he is Invis, I guess, from the Nature's Veil. So he should be able to get away. And actually, no, he wouldn't dare go in right here. Would he?
No.
So, well, Bat Blast from Wretched Hag, though. That was great timing on her part. Monkey King buyback, I mean, do you think it was worth it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that was stumbling out of control for them. Wretched Hag, like I mentioned, is doing work action. Oh, look at that! Monkey King initiates on Meraxis. He activates that W. He's trying to get the Quake Stun off. Oh, he misses some axes, but he's going to be fine for now. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Experience lead is completely leveled out.
Wow, yeah.
It's completely even. Gold lead is still obviously there for TteS Esports because of all the towers that they've pushed. But, you know, you did have a buyout wasted on, no, I can't say wasted, sorry, used on Cookies, and it was totally effective. So, yeah, it was very necessary.
Yeah, wow, you're right, though. The experience, that definitely catches me off guard. I mean, the fact that it closed that much, and the goal, again, it's still in favor of TteS Esports, but that definitely has gone down as well, about 2,000 gold or so. So, solid news there for Absolute Legends here on the Hellborn side. Wretched Hag in the meantime at the bottom lane. She's going to take a stun right here for the Kelfield port away. And there's a song of the Sea Nuke. Bombardier is chasing. He doesn't have an airstrike, though, and I think Wretched Hag is a little bit too far. But here comes Monkey King. Oh, it was an awkward position right there. And actually, Moraxis jumping in himself on an M4 right there. Matrix is activated, and he's trying to get the kill. Nice snipe with the axe right there, and that's a guaranteed kill on M4 as a result. Matrix is exploding. Another axe that's going to be just out of range of Monkey King, though. And they'll run away. Oh, really? What a Quake Stun from Moraxis right there. Jumps and hits, too.
Oh!
Not going to hit absolutely no one, though. The tablet on top of the getaway from Monkey King. And they will be fine. Oh, that's got to be so unfortunate for White Talba. He's going to be kicking himself in the head. Because, man, that was such a close attempt.
I feel like he could have cast it from a little bit longer range and still caught them. I really do. So, I mean, it was a good idea. He had a good thought. It was just a little bit out of range. And
yeah.
Unfortunate. Sometimes those things happen.
That they do. I mean, hey, he made the great bait play earlier, so gotta give him credit for that still. Monkey King is going to be ported with N4 right here, so this is this combo, how it works, obviously. You know, just constant pressure. And trying to find somebody in the middle lane, but it looks like Wretched Hag is not going to continue to push up. Instead, they'll be satisfied with doing some double stack ancients, and nothing wrong with that. And again, you can't forget about this Warbeast, man. Warbeast is really, he really is one of these heroes. He's kind of just in the background doing his own thing in the early game, and then all of a sudden, you know, he has a shrunken head and he starts tearing you up. I mean, right now he does have an Abyssal Skull, Steam Boots, has a Mighty Blade picked up, and I don't know if he just purchased something else, but he is farming 342 gold per minute, actually. So he is actually farming very solid here.
He has a Warhammer now.
Did he? Oh, wow. So yeah, very close to shrunken head now.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes you can forget, like, oh yeah, they have a War Piece, and oh my god, he's the top level in the game, and wow, he's crushing me in team fights. But I still feel like he could be very active before that point. Like,
yeah.
And he's tried. It's just been a little more difficult. I mean, look at the freaking lineup that TteS Esports has. But I like that play of, you know, TPing in there, to get those Ancients from them. And stealing their Ancients, just trying to get as much resources as you can. Wretched Hag very close to her health flower, actually. That's going to be really big for TteS Sports.
Oh yeah, it always is, especially on a Hag, being able to jump in there and apply that and have all the follow-up and pretty much, if executed correctly, you know, kind of guarantee a kill on somebody right off the bat. So the tablet command picked up on Bombardier, though, and we saw that come into play right away, obviously against that Tempest ultimate attempt from Waitalova. If it wasn't for that tablet, at least Bombardier would have still been pulled in, and things could have got a little bit more hairy, but he was able to tablet himself away just before it was activated. So good job on his part. And they got Bombardier, just like Warby's, really, hasn't necessarily had the loudest game here, but he's 1-0-2. He's farming 308 gold per minute, so I think it's safe to say Mookies is definitely doing a solid job here for Absolute Legends, and he is level 11 now as well, so he has that level 2 airstrike, of course, going to be coming out. But again, it kind of goes back to the fact that he stated at the very beginning of the game, the synergy isn't necessarily there, so it may not be as effective as, say, if you had a Tempest or a Keeper or whatever on your team. So, but still, as we saw even earlier, he's able to make use of it. Again, Nymfora's going to port. Oh, nope, they actually cancel at the last second. The tower falls, and they're like, okay, not worth it.
Yeah, they realized that would be a very silly situation. And actually, an aggressive ward was placed right here by Leon Black, right here in the jungle above their hard camp, so they would spot any kind of resistance there as they were getting that very, very easy tower kill.
Yeah, so that was actually a very good cancel, actually, when you look at it that way. So, Monkey King does bottle up an illusion rune right there. Going to use that. Moraxis is chasing, though. Oh, he portal keys in. He will take a heal stun. Yeah, as he mentioned, he's all by himself. Granted, it is Moraxis, and he could buy a decent amount of time for his team to support him, as they were somewhat nearby. But in the end, neither team will commit to it, and they'll fall back. Shrunken Head just finished on Warbeast, though. And you also have a Warhammer actually picked up on Monkey King, so we're going to see a Shieldbreaker, you think?
Shrunken Head.
Shrunken Head as well?
Yeah, he's going to have to go for Shrunken Head to get out of that, specifically that Keeper, the Force Ultimate. And, of course, Hag, like I said, is very close to her health. I was going to have it right after this hard camp that was being stacked by her. And that's very strong. I mean, this is Hag. We talk about why Hag is so popular right now. It's a number of things. Her presence in the late game and her ability to bounce back in bad situations.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely has been bringing that a lot lately, especially, again, going back to her being on the competitive scene in general. Moraxis tried to jump Bubbles here at the bottom lane, but Bubbles a very quick portal key reaction himself, and as a result, GG Slayer is fine, so obviously having that portal key too. Monkey King, that's an illusion down here, I was going to say, running into Wretched Hag, but going to die shortly after, as the Legion team, they're actually, nope, never mind, Moraxis is going to homecoming stone in the middle lane, because in the meantime, they're trying to catch, the Matrix, or the Quake stun attempt was missed. However, the axes are landing and being slowed on a Monkey King. He's going to fly away, though, with his Heavenly Faults as soon as he hits the tower. Going to be fine for now, but again, the portal key is going to be coming up in 2 seconds. He won't have enough mana for a Quake stun, though, and that could be the difference maker. Oh, he does actually have enough mana right there. A Monkey King now in a lot of trouble, actually, as the Ring of Sorcery was used by Tempest to give him that mana, but still, he's just out of range, and axe is going to land, slowing him down. There's another axe. There's the Glacial Blast. And Monkey King, he dodges another Glacial Blast. I'm trying to dodge right here. No, but it goes off. Oh, my God. Is he actually going to get away? No, one more auto attack.
That is it.
Oh, jeez. Wow. He was running forever. And they finally get the kill, though.
Yeah, it was a good juke attempt. When you actually go out of fog, or go into fog, the Glacial Blast will no longer apply. And then it actually reduced one, I believe.
It did, yeah.
But nonetheless, he bought some time, I suppose, for this this pushing lineup here. Not really a lineup, but this pushing squad down to the bottom lane to get that tower. So that's good for them. But yeah, once Monkey King, and actually Monkey King has a good amount of gold pulled up even after that death. And once he gets the Shrunken Head, they can actually start fighting these team fights. They have Shrunken Head up on Warbeast. And what's Bombardier gonna go for here? He actually has another Neophytes book, so possibly Storm Spirit, maybe even a Staff of the Master.
Yeah,
not
true.
quite sure.
Yeah, Staff of the Master, it is actually, I think it's pretty solid on Bombardier. I mean, it's not like, again, I think it is more of a, if you had synergy, then it'd make more sense.
Yeah,
if they don't have like a Tempest or a Keeper, though, I don't think it's as useful. So probably going to be Storm Spirit would be my guess, but we'll see what Mookie's goes for here. But yeah, you mentioned the Warbeast, again, the Shrunken Head on him, so getting that Shrunken Head on Monkey King now, and then looking to maybe start committing to more and more team fights here. Could be very possible.
The thing I worry about, though, with him going for Storm Spirit, if that's what he's going to go for, is that they don't really have a real lockdown spell. Like, once Hag gets a Shrunken Head, she's going to have free reign, completely free reign to do what she wants. Like, she can get out of the Bubble Silence. She can go out of the Kelp Field. She can mitigate all the damage from Bombardier. Like, she's not going to get stunned by Nymfora. So once she gets that, and Hag is on her way now, going to have that probably in the next 5 minutes or so if she's farming at the pace that he's farming at, then, yeah, it's going to be almost impossible to lock her down. So unless you get a Hellflower or something like that, which I really think needs to be purchased on someone on this Hellborn squad, and really the only two contenders for that are Bubbles and Bombardier. And Bubbles is not farming nearly enough to get that anytime soon.
You wouldn't think Monkey King would go for Hellflower?
He could, but it's going to take some time. Obviously, he doesn't even have his shield or his.
He just finished his Shrunken Head.
His Shrunken Head, yeah. Okay, he
Delivered.
did finish it now.
So he has that at least now, and he may be in a little bit of trouble right here. It actually, Wretched Head couldn't jump in, but N4 is also here. There's the Shrunken Head being delivered, actually. We're talking about good timing. And now N4 taking a lot of pressure. Volatile Pod going down, not the greatest heal, though. Monkey King is still running as his teammate falls right there. He's going to Shrunken Head and try to pour it out. And the room comes out, actually, and Cookies is going to fall right here as a result. Even TteS joining the party, and it ends up being a double tap for the team. So I thought for sure he was going to be fine, but Keeper of the Forest ruins the party. And double tap kill for the team, and they're going to now commit to a push here at the top lane.
Yep, absolutely. Good job by Riser, understanding that even though it wasn't used on multiple targets, it was very effective. And as a result, they're going to be able to push this so easily. Like, they're not going to have any resistance. What AL needs to do at this point is start doing some counter pushing. And you have, like you said, tons of items up on the War Beast. And speaking of War Beast, he's top farm in the game by far.
Yeah, he is.
470 gold per minute.
An AFK, man.
Yeah.
Jeez, he really is up there. Double 15 on top of that, but right now TTE Sports obviously a team game in the end, and they're as a team looking very good. Because sure, Warbeast is the top farmer, but you have a Hag, a Keeper, a Moraxis, and even a Tempest, all farming very well over here on the Legion side. So that's definitely where it gets scary here for Absolute Legends, despite the Warbeast and his success. Now he does have a Soulsborg on top of the Shrunken Head. So, and that kind of goes back to the point you were talking about the Shrunken Head, and kind of a different perspective that you could look at it is the fact that, sure, I mean the CC and the lockdown may not be the greatest against this Hag right now for them, but a lot of their damage is simply physical damage, and obviously that's where the Shrunken Head won't reduce damage necessarily. Because you look at the Monkey King, you look at the Warbeast. They are going to be still tearing her up if they can, stay on top of her, granted. So, yeah, kind of a different perspective, but yeah, I do agree with you. Obviously, getting that lockdown is kind of important here. But he did eventually go the Storm Spirit, by the way, on Bombardier. Yeah. So he has that finished now. Shieldbreaker on Warbeast too. Wow.
Yeah, that's good for him. Hellflower is in the works for Moravis as well. He has one of those Arcanas and has basically enough gold to purchase another one. And the more Hellflowers, the merrier.
Why the hell not, right? Yeah, Hellflower is obviously a very powerful tool, man. More the merrier, as you so well put it. More items. Playmill actually just purchased by Tempest. I think he sold it though. That was an accident. He meant to get the Warhammer, I believe. So he is going to have his own Shrunken Head here in the near future, and of course that'll be very good for being able to freely channel his ultimate against this Hellborn team. But for now, in the last couple of minutes, been more of a static game ever since Monkey King got picked up at the top lane. More about farm, and especially for Meisty, who's still remaining at that 470 gold per minute mark. You can see him using that W, the battle cry right there, to assist some damage of his. And sitting on a level 1 shield breaker currently, soon to be level 3, I'm sure, though, here in the near future. And again, he's also level 16, which is a very important level, especially for Warbeast, having the level 40-second cooldown now on his Metamorphosis, as it's called. Again, when you think about it, how it's up for, 16 seconds, so technically really a 24-second cooldown even, so very, very powerful there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's, at this point, the saving grace for his team. And, I mean, Cookies, he's got decent farm. He's 380 gold per minute. But it's just not going to be enough against these massive teamfight ultimates. It really is. I mean, Keeper of the Forest, huge ultimate. Tempest, huge ultimate. And you don't really have anything to... Let me check here if you have anything. Nope, you have nothing to cancel that Tempest ultimate once he gets a Shrunken Head. So it's going to be really, really difficult in panning out these team fights after he does purchase that.
Yeah. Yep, it's going to be very effective indeed. So hitting the 28-minute mark right here, the golden experience advantage, around a 6,000 both here for TTE Sports. So Monkey King, I am very curious what he goes for next. We talked about the possibility maybe of a Hellflower on him. It's an item that they could definitely use, but perhaps a different route. No, he probably didn't buy anything because he did die right after he got the Shrunken Head. So he's going to head back to base right now, going to get some regen. We'll see if anything's going to be purchased or have to wait a little bit longer before we can get an idea of what exactly he's going to be going for. Level 2 Shieldbreaker should be finished here shortly on Warbeast. And again, both teams pretty content right now on just simply sitting back and farming here. And
yeah,
I don't know. I kind of feel like our Legion side, actually, TTE Sports, they could be the ones to kind of be the aggressors here, and especially with their team fight. I mean, I guess you want to save up maybe the Hellflower more Axis and even the Shrunken Head on Tempest before you kind of commit to your fights here. But
I think absolutely the Shrunken Head on Tempest. Like I
Okay.
said, you're going to have free reign with your ultimate once you get that. The only thing that can really stop you is a push book from, you know, Bombardier onto one person in that ultimate. But that's about it. And I would say, you know, they can take this to the late game because
Yeah.
even though you're dealing up against a War Beast and a Monkey King, and M4 is actually pretty annoying late game as well. Wretched Hag is all kinds of late game, and so is Tempest, so is Keeper, because they're massive team fight, and they're massive team fight ultimates.
Warbeast was attempting Congo right there. He actually has a double damage rune activated, so obviously he can do it very, very effectively. But in the end, not going fast enough. They weren't really committing to it, and so he decides to fall back, goes over to the Ancients instead, which were double stacked, and he'll just gladly clean those up. So again, now we're around 480 gold per minute, and he is on level 17. So there's the Shrunken Head finished on Tempest, Hellflower on Moraxis. Yeah, I think this is now definitely a time for TteS Esports to say, all right, we got to be pretty comfortable with where we're at here, and let's start to make something happen. Because, hey, again, you don't sure you can still feel pretty comfortable going to the late game, but there's no point to really wait for that. And why not? So we'll see if they start to make a move here. I mean, they are kind of grouped up here in the middle lane. Obviously, Conqueror is going to start becoming more of a big deal now around the 30-minute mark or so, as we already saw the Hellbourne team attempting some damage. But now Hag leading the way here in the middle lane. This could be the starting of a possible push attempt by TteS Esports. But the top lane is being pushed in, or was being pushed in by Cookies, but now he's falling back. And I guess TteS Esports will actually retreat to that to kind of clean it up themselves here. So
Yeah, if they can keep doing that, that will put them back in this game, I feel. And at least enough time, buy them enough time to maybe start getting some pickoffs with Nymphora, who desperately needs to get that level 11. She really does. So you can start pouring people like Bomb or like, you know, just basically two members, two more members on your team with you to get some very, very good pickoffs. And they need some aggressive warding on top of that. So I think number one is get this Nymphora some levels. She desperately needs it.
yeah, and she's level 9 right now. So yeah, at least get there 2 more levels with a level 11. So put around 2 people. But Bound Eye just purchased by Glacius actually. So they now have that to work with you on the Legion side as well, amongst everything else. Warbeast, again, he continues to... No, I guess he's not going to go for Conqueror, just instead going to go back over to the Ancients. He does have his level 3 Shield Breaker now finished, so he really is starting to hit very, very hard here. Another 2,700 gold saved off of Monkey King, so he's starting to pull up a good amount here himself. And Nymphora really has just been kind of just babysitting this Cookies on Monkey King. Just been pretty much sitting right by his side here, and either porting him some places or spamming him as Grace than the Nymph, basically. What level is that, by the way? It is a level 3 Grace than the Nymph, actually, so
Yep.
it's a good mana pool coming from that, and Monkey King feeling pretty confident that he can kind of push this bottom lane. Now, there is really no vision here on the bottom side of the map here for Absolute Legends, so be a little bit careful if I was them, but he's pretty confident that they can do this just fine, of course, with what he sees on the map as far as where the Legion team is exposing themselves, so.
Demonic Breastplate on Keeper the Forest.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's going to have a lot of armor and provide armor for his team, especially against this War Beast who's basically stacking lots of negative armor. You got 4 from the negative Soul's Bulwark and then 6 from your Shieldbreaker level 3. So negative 10 armor, but when you give your team, I think it's 5 armor from this from Demonic Breastplate here. Yeah, or effects plus 5 armor. So it's going to mitigate half of that.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. So 3,400 gold now saved up on Monkey King. So again, so very curious what he's going to be going for as far as his next core item here after his Shrunken Head, Helmet of the Black Legion pickups earlier on. You mentioned the possibility of even Hellflowers on Bombardier, especially even Bubbles, but they still, both of them really, Bombardier had he's continuing to have a solid game. I mean, he's still at 287 gold per minute, not shabby at all, but it's not like taken off either. So choosing to go with the tablet into Storm Spirit, he has another 1,400 gold saved up, so possibly Hellflower next in line for him, but that too will be a little bit of ways off here for them. So again though, TteS Esports, it doesn't look like that they're really going to kind of commit to anything right here. They too are just continuing to play more of a passive style of game and going to clean up some creep waves, keep them pushed back, and well, eventually go for the pick, I'm sure, but I'm sure that's what either team is going for here at this point. Neither one able to really come through with it, but actually, here we go. TteS Esports, they are going to group up, and it looks like we do see a push here at the bottom lane. This is the last outer tower remaining, and Well, it's going to die. And again, there's the invulnerable. But actually, Poor coming in. Oh, my God. They're actually going to try to defend this right here. Monkey King jumping, and in comes Warbeast, but the Legion team completely retreats from it. And actually, Moraxis is not here. Kelfield coming out. This could be a big play coming out for Absolute Legends. Baffle's going to be used, but Glacius and Wretched Egg being locked down. Wretched Egg will blink away. She'll be fine for now. She does have a Homecoming Stone, and it looks like she will survive. So Glacius falls down. The tower did fall in the background as well in favor of the Legion team.
Yeah.
But Absolute Legends, all 5 of them still well alive. Fighting strong right there.
Now, the only thing I can take from that is, okay, they didn't have a ward top while they were pushing. AL didn't. So they didn't see any people porting in right there. But I'm pretty sure the only thing I can safely assume is that they saw Miraxis TPing, like in the lane or something. Because they were rushing. Like, they TP back and they were rushing that team. So they had to have seen Moravis TP. So he maybe needed a TP in a little bit safer spot out of vision, because that's the only thing only possible conclusion I can come to as to why they ran in there balls to the wall.
Yeah, like I said, I was like, oh my God, are they really doing this? Because I did not expect them to defend that tower, honestly. But they at least went for the attempt, and they got a kill out of it. Now, granted, the tower did still fall in the end for TD Sports, so I actually still think TD Sports came out on top there. Sacrificing a Glacius for a tower kill, not too shabby, but especially with all the resources that were used. So. But what else was I want to mention? Okay, there you go. There's the Hellflower Monkey King, by the way. So he was pulling up all that gold to buy a straight-up Hellflower. So they do have that now to work with, finally. And that'll be more effective now against, if he can specifically catch that Wretched Haga, I would assume. Would be nice. But, oh, Conqueror is being attempted here, and actually, TT Esports going to clean it up, catching at the last second. But Tempest will pick up, or not Tempest, but Wretched Haga will pick up the Token of Life.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is big for TT Esports.
It is. They had absolutely no vision. AL didn't. That is. And I will say that before, when looking at this Hellflower, I'm thinking, okay, perfect. Now he can start Hellflowering this Hag and burst her down before she does anything. And Hellflower is a great tool against Drunken Head. But nope, that totally changes everything now with the Token of Life on Wretched Hag, and that puts TD Sports in an even further good spot.
Yeah, that's very, very big for them. So now, again, sure, may not expect them to push right away here for TT Esports, but by the time there's about 3 minutes or so remaining on the token, it usually seems to be the good timing for making something happen with it. So we'll see TT Esports what their decision comes to with that. Now, granted, Wretched actually has another 1,800 gold saved up after picking up an Acolyte Staff even. So she not only has a Hellflower, but we're very likely going to see a Sheepstick on her as well going into the next fight. I mean, she's farming 454 gold per minute right now, looking very good for TD Esports in that sense. So it's kind of, I do find it a little funny that we can sit here and say Wretched Hag is just very, very strong, and when there's a Warbeast on the other team that's continuing to farm better than her this whole game, but I still fear a lot more for Absolute Legends than I do for TD Esports. Granted, I guess the team makeup as a whole, definitely plays a part in that, sure, but Wretched Hag really is just proven to be such a strong carry for so many teams. So
yeah, and now it's working towards a Frostfield plate. Just about has it. Actually might have it.
Oh, is it Frostfield plate? Okay. I just assumed it was going to be Sheepstick, but yeah, you're right. Frostfield. What? Actually, I guess that is the smarter choice, right?
Yeah.
I mean, armor is pretty nice against a Monkey King and a War Beast. That goes back to the point that I was talking about earlier. Having the Shrunken Head's great, but there's a lot of physical damage coming out. But now with the added, 15 armor, Jesus. She's becoming pretty tanky herself now.
Demonic Breastplate up onto Warbeast.
Well, again, he's continuing to do very good himself. I mean,
Still top armor in the game.
Exactly. If he gets a Brutalizer now, I mean, he's going to be hitting very hard here and very dangerous, that's for sure. So this game is turning out to be very interesting. And, something we talk about a lot is a Warbeast with a Bubbles, actually. That Kelfield can be very helpful for him as far as keeping people nearby and preventing them from running away. And if they choose to, they will be stunned, of course. So that can come into play.
I'm very curious as to why they're playing so passive.
Yeah.
Like, they have all the means to push into the base. They really do. And especially up against the Nymphora, like, you can get caught out with Nymphora ganks. And, well, granted, she is only level 10, but, with Monkey King now having a Hellflower, it's actually farming pretty damn well himself. Boosted himself up to 430 GPM. So I think giving any kind of leeway or any kind of hope to AL at this point is just unnecessary. I mean, you have a Shrunken on Tempest. No one can cancel it. Push books is the only thing that can stop it, and that's not stopping it. That's just kind of a Band-Aid to the problem, really.
I agree with you. And, I kind of stressed that, I was wondering earlier, but, it made sense. Okay, at least the Shrunken Head, maybe the Hellflower Moraxis, they've had that now for, at least 6-7 minutes here. Okay, sure. They go for Conqueror. Sure, do that. The Token of Life has 3.5 minutes now. You got it. Ellie, you got to think that TT Esports will look to use this, take advantage, I should say, of this Token of Life now. I mean, if they don't, then something's really wrong here, honestly, for TT Esports. Because it's just, why exactly, as you just said, why are they just waiting so long to really try to finish this game? Because, again, sure, they can feel confident going to the later game, but you've had the advantage, it seems like, for a while now. And you're just buying more and more time for that Monkey King, for that War Beast, for Nim4 to hit level 11. For Bombardier, he's now level 16. So he has a level 3 airstrike, and that's going to be that much more powerful with 3,500 gold saved up. So he's going to be purchasing maybe that Hellflower or something else here in the near future. So
yeah,
again, Token of Life, it's down to just under 3 minutes now. When are they going to use it? We'll see.
Who knows? I mean, they're just still farming. Maybe they want to. I have no idea, because they've had multiple chances, and like I said, it really comes back to the fact that they have a shrunken head on TteS, and there's nothing you can do about that. And when you have so much armor from Keeper of the Forest, specifically from his Nature's Veil and his Demonic Breastplate, you can just jump in there, and you have, like you said, Token of Life, it's 2 minutes. It looks like they might be timing to push right now in mid, and it's about damn time.
Yeah. Hell, it's about time. Let's go Wretched Hag leading the way again. Token of Life, 2.5 minutes here. So look at her items. Frostfield Plate, Hellflower, Shrunken Head, and she has 2,300 gold saved up. So they are going to now finally make the push. I will say they don't have a barrier idol, and that's maybe the one thing that they could use right here. But other than that, pretty much good to go. Sticky Bomb going to be used to help clean up the creep wave. Hellborn team, not everyone is here. Cookies is actually at the bottom lane currently. He does not have a TP, so he is running back. Here we go. Morax jumps in the Bombardier in the background. Bombardier going to be bursted down before doing anything. He does have buyback, which he uses right away, actually. And this tower is going to fall by Bobbles. A great jump in the kill field coming out. There's the airstrike on top. Some decent damage. Warby's charging in, but the Tempest ultimate going to hold down Warby's. Great counter Storm Spirit, though, minimizing a lot of that damage. And now Warby's has free reign to do some damage. Holy crap. You see Wretched Agnes fall right there. Will resurrect, of course. Monkey King in the background. He gets locked down by the root. He's trying to fly with the Heavenly Vault, but it's not going to have the Quake Stun from Moraxis gets a kill. The chase from Hag. King Plato will fall there. Monkey King buys back. Him and Warbeast are their last hope. Monkey King is going to chase right here. He wants Wretched Hacker, maybe Moraxis, but now he's getting turned on. He doesn't have anything. He had a Hellflower, but he just got bursted down right there. And there are the G2L plays. So just like that, the game is over after all that passivity. And TT Esports is victorious. So game number 1, going to TT Esports right there.
It was played well. Like I'm talking about. This is what I talk about with AL.
Yeah.
Like they play it well. They played it as best as they could. In that horrible situation. I mean, you're an amazing lineup from TT Esports. They had everything going from Shrunken Head on Tempest, all those items on basically the quasi or pseudo-suicide Hag in the mid lane, and having the Token of Life up on her. They played it well. The Storm Spirit on top of the push book for Warbeast, getting him out of that ultimate of Tempest. But still, I mean, you're just working up against so much of a lead from TT Esports and the massive team fight between specifically Keeper and Tempest. It's just, you can't give someone the team Keeper Tempest. It's really, really difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it is tough, and I don't really know. I mean, there really isn't much else to add. He really said it. This team, they continue to play very well, but when it comes to the strategy and becoming to execute, especially at that picking stage, they set themselves up for definitely the tougher time in the laning phase. So if we saw that yesterday against State Green. We saw that here in Game 1 against TT Esports. But there is going to be a Game 2, of course, and we'll see how Absolute Legends responds. Going into that second game, of course, TT Esports, they are going to try to sweep the series here and move on in what is the losers bracket of the Diamond Division. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be bringing you Game number 2, Absolute Legends. Take it on TT Esports. We'll be right back.